Commencing countdown. T minus 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, 0. Ignition.
And we're live. Welcome, ladies and gentlemen, back to Saber Dice Oasis. My name is Cody with Taking 20, and I have some beautiful, incredible, wonderful, sexy, amazing, talented people with me here this evening. We have Jacob BUDZ from XP to level 3. We have Oscar the Grouch, aka Unmad Gaming. I'm changing it. Unmad Gaming. Playing with it tonight is Lauren B, aka the Ginger Ninja, the one and only David FRIANT of Nerdarchy, the godfather of D&D YouTube, and of course we have SCLANDERS from How to Be a Great, not average, not good, great GM. So thank you for joining us. Here with a few words from our lovely sponsors is the one and only SCLANDERS.
How to Be an Average GM.
Well, I'm not actually a sponsor, but I'm speaking on behalf of the sponsors, and the sponsors are Fantasy Grounds. Fantasy Grounds is where all of our virtual tabletop is played, and they've got a Kickstarter that's currently happening. Go and support them if you like. They are doing Fantasy Grounds Unity, which brings in a whole bunch of super cool stuff, which is just too awesome to even mention on this stream. So Fantasy Grounds is one of our sponsors. The other sponsor is Dungeon Painter Studio. Dungeon Painter Studio is a piece of software that allows you to paint dungeons in or out of a studio. It doesn't matter. They've now got a mobile version, which allows you to paint wherever you happen to be. So yes, Dungeon Painter Studio is available on Steam. Go and check it out. Go and download it. All the maps made in today's episode and last week's episode and possibly future episodes will be done in Dungeon Painter Studio. Possibly by Cody, possibly in his studio, possibly not. We just don't know. I think that's it for sponsors for today. The other thing that's important is the Saber Dice team. That is everybody that you can see on your screen right now. Everybody in the screen will also be at Gen Con 2019, 1st of August to the 4th of August. And on the Friday at 3 p.m., you can come and watch us play a game live. It's one shot that's done specifically for Gen Con and is going to be an absolute blast. Watch us play for a little bit, shout at us, throw dice at us, throw food at us. You know, that'll certainly make me happy.
No.
And Jacob as well. Apparently no food.
I want to throw food at Cody.
And
Bring
of course,
beans.
you know what you need to throw at... You got there before I could tell my joke, Laura. Nonetheless, you guys know what to do. Come and find us at Gen Con. Go and pre-book. Bookings are now available and open for tickets at Gen Con. So if you're going to Gen Con, come and say hi. Do not be a stranger. We don't bite unless you pay us. Back to you.
Hey.
Also, check out the After Dark show. This week was the return to the Jade Colossus campaign that we teased over on our YouTube channel and here on Twitch. This week we saw the return of Draxus as our characters returned to Car. So if you guys want to check out a badass podcast, by the way, if you guys are on the podcast, you'll know, if you're on the Patreon, you'll know that we are now uploading all of Oasis and all of our regular Wednesday games over there in addition to all of the regular rewards. And we have done some changes in audio quality on the back end, so after hearing a couple of those, I think they're sounding much better, and I think you guys well, hopefully are hearing the quality difference over there as well. So thank you for being a patron. We appreciate it. Are you guys ready? Are you guys excited? Are you terrified, pumped up?
Golly gee, I sure am ready.
We have one more announcement that you forgot because
Sorry.
which is perfect. So I'm going to do it because I made the suggestion and you said, go ahead and run with that, Mike, and then promptly forgot it as soon as we ended the call. Okay. Guys, speaking of Patreon, speaking of Saber Dice After Dark, speaking of the Gen Con thing, we are going to be doing a Patreon drive from now until the end of June. If we hit $800 on the Patreon by the end of June, the month of July will be full of polls, and you guys will get to decide what we do in the one-shot live at Gen Con. You will decide monsters, encounters, story, all kinds of fun things like that. So if we hit 800 by the end of June, we will do polls out the ass on the month for the month of July, so that we can decide what the hell we're doing that first weekend of August.
And we've already been in touch with a few people about getting that game recorded with audio and stuff like that. And we're going to have the talented Bill Allen there from Bill Allen's World there to help us set it up. He's ran events for Maze Arcana and all kinds of people at Gen Con before, so we will have that game later for you guys to see. So if you're not going to Gen Con, don't be like, oh, well, I didn't get to see it. Yeah, you will. Just fucking hold on, all right? We'll get it to you. We love you guys. All right, so let's play some D&D, Starfinder.
Whoa, what? We're playing D&D?
Cast your minds back to the previous session. So last week was rough. It was really rough, I think, on a lot of people. Mostly Jet, I think, who was still recovering from some bone venom. Decided, hey, guys, let's pick some fights with some pirates. Did not go well. Even though Domino was very clever and had a brilliant move to kind of aid you guys in helping you focus down maybe the boss, and just didn't go well for you guys. You guys were taken back by the Goreborn in Rokean, where you found yourselves tied up and in the midst of prep for torture for potential information about Lacia and Oasis. Fortunately, that's when alarms started sounding, and the complex that you guys had been stashed at for this little warehouse that you guys had been stashed at for this little torture scene that had been set up by the Goreborn was beginning to be raided by King Corvallis' forces, along with the rest of the Warhounds, who apparently were not terribly keen to steal a word from Guy SCLANDERS on how the Goreborn decided to withhold some information after Beetle, discovering that the party was in the midst of the ramshackle, about to be ambushed by the Goreborn, decided to record the conversation and send that information over to King Corvallis and the rest of the alpha leaders and fangs of the Warhounds. You guys escaped with the help of Beetle, who had snuck in through the air ducts, to some speeders in the back alleyway down below, where you guys proceeded to converse in a very sneaky manner. Let's say that. As Jet and the crew decided to try to return to the Rogue Infinity. Thank goodness Domino had the keys and was able to unlock it from a few hundred yards away. As you guys proceeded to hear alarms go off on your personal comms with a ship worldwide alert system from King Corvallis that you are wanted. But fortunately, you had made it to the ship. Unfortunately, the dome in which encompasses several of the ships had begun to close. That is where we will pick up. You can hear the alarm going off through the entire shipyard as this enormous dome begins to move slowly to lock back down into place. All of you are aboard the ship. Tell me what you guys are doing as you are racing to get the Rogue Infinity up and out of Haven Shield before you are captured again.
How do we get this thing to fly, guys? We gotta get this. Yep, we should. Yeah, I don't know what to do.
You into the medical bay, sir. You are injured, wounded, and possibly.
If I die saving all of you, then so be it.
Get the frack out of my way!
Die while steering the ship. We're all going to die.
I gotta get the doors open.
Snicked, what are you doing? Where are you going?
I want to try and remotely hack the hangar doors.
Ooh, interesting. Okay, you can quickly find yourself to a bay window. Where you can kind of, you look over and you can see the mechanism, the main controls. It has like a large green panel underneath, kind of where it almost hinges up several hundred feet above. Give me a computer's check to see if you can isolate which unit that is and try to hack into it.
Fracking amateurs. That's a 30.
You see it suddenly begin to power down. Snicked. The alarms, however, are still going off, and you can see several speeders flying down the long ramps in your directions. Let's do this. A couple of people are interested in knowing what the Rogue Infinity looks like, so let's. Why don't you guys give me an idea on what kind of a ship do you guys have here with the Rogue Infinity?
When we went and got the paint job, Domino did it. So what color is it?
Black. Because
Great.
that's what color Domino is.
Perfect. It's edgy as fuck. It's black but with red like trims on the sides because I added that.
Domino is monochromatic with red accents, and he was designed that way, so he thinks all things should be that way similarly.
Perfect.
And so, yeah.
Who's currently sitting in the pilot seat?
No one.
So who's the pilot?
Domino is in the comms officer spot, and that is where he sits.
Jed is
Luna,
our
you gotta
captain.
fly
Is
this
Jed
ship.
also a pilot?
I think Luna goes to like right behind the chair and puts her hands on it and turns back around and goes, "Doctor."
You want me to fly?
She just starts pressing buttons that she thinks might be the intercom system.
And I jump in the pilot seat.
She
freaking do everything around here.
Pilot seat. She's gonna help.
Snick, perhaps you're better suited jamming the communications of the approaching vessels whilst I try and fly the ship out of the space dock.
Doctor, you shouldn't be flying. How about Domino pilots Domino Jr. and we get out of here?
I can't pilot the ship and be comms officer.
Well then, who needs?
I didn't even freaking know how to pilot a ship. It's easy. I start piloting the ship.
Going off at the shipyard.
I guess I'll monitor the engines then.
Do we have any guns?
By the way, for everyone watching, this is what we do every time we get in our ship in a panic.
Guys, everyone watching
It's
this-
canon now. This is what we do every single time, and it's always someone different who flies.
This is what we do every time we start the stream.
That too.
Snick, you can see several speeders are kind of coming up those ramps. They kind of have these big, wide bases, and what you notice is on the back of them, they have several people kind of like locked in place and strapped in with like a big rolling cage bar that's kind of like a half cage bar, and several of these Warhounds have raised up some kind of large weapon. You can see from the tips here that it doesn't look necessarily like maybe an explosive as much as it is a large coiling arrow hook. You recognize this as an EMP weapon that can disable ships if it hits in the right place. Not all ships will immediately just go down from this. And it's also tethered to a large battery that you can see kind of like a little generator on several of these speeders as they're coming up the ramps.
Can I open up the door again and shoot at one of the batteries?
Yes, you can.
Sweet.
So you run over from the. I assume you were in the cockpit for a brief moment.
Before I was kicked out, yes.
Before Snick kicked you out, you can run over to the back the hangar bay. You slap on the button, your ramp starts going down, and you have a clear shot, probably maybe a tenth of a mile, quarter of a mile, somewhere in between that, as there's 3 different speeders coming your direction.
How many yards is that?
Dope. That's not what I meant to click. Hacha! That's what I meant to click.
25. Okay, so you're specifically aiming for the generators?
Of the closest one. Yeah.
Yeah, I mean that's definitely gonna hit. That's definitely gonna hit. You do have a plasma rifle, so it's not a small arm. Yeah, throw damage. Absolutely.
I did that first because I'm dumb.
Oh, you did that first. 10 damage. Okay. Let me see here real quick. Let me just check something.
Pew. We've all decided that
with max damage, you basically see this thing just kind of, and it looks like for a moment that nothing happens, and then you can see the guy who's kind of like looking down, tethered in. He begins desperately trying to grab at his vest that's locking him in place with this roll bar and this weapon, and you can see him trying to get out, and then suddenly you see whoosh! This whole speeder just goes up in flames from this generator and this power cell that you pierced and broke through. 2 of the speeders are still headed your direction.
I think Luna hits it, leans back into the ship a little bit, and just, Doctor, I've hit one.
That's.
And she just leans her head back out.
Does he need medical assistance? I'm a little busy right now.
I do not believe medical assistance will be necessary for him. He is trying to prevent us from leaving. That's
He's
Starlight.
completely fracked. You're not going to be able to help that guy.
Does the ship have guns?
Yeah, Cody, what does the ship
Yes,
have?
the ship does have guns. So it has a couple
Is
of
there
different...
a ship character sheet in Fantasy Grounds?
It has a couple of cannons, some laser cannons built onto it, and these are both swivel weapons. Unfortunately, due to the nature in which the Rogue Infinity was seized and then auctioned off, all of the weapons have been disabled until ownership of the vehicle changes over.
Damn it! They locked all the weapons. As I'm.
Can I try to hack that?
You can.
Okay, perfect. Cool. I will do that.
I wish I could do something about
With
this.
my hack button.
Is anybody trying to fly the ship away yet?
I am. That's what I've been doing. I
All right.
kicked her out of the seat to jump in it.
Yeah.
Are you?
Rolled a 5 and it's a 22.
22?
Not enough to bypass the systems with the 22. You can try again here as you're desperately trying. Snicked, you begin to get the ship's engines kind of as they're kind of coming online and beginning to boot up and charge up.
Can I raise the ship's shield?
Do you have a piloting check, Snicked?
I do.
Give me a piloting check, please, sir.
That is a 17.
Yeah, it's taking a moment as you kind of get these things kind of booting up slowly.
I start kicking the council. Come on, you fracking piece of junk. Every time we got to do this. We got to fight over who's going to drive. You don't want to start. Come on.
Why don't you simply assign someone to be the pilot full time?
Hey, don't yell at her. She'll get upset. All right? You'll hurt her feelings.
Why don't you fracking mind your business?
All right.
I agree, Snicked. I raised the ship's shields. Do we have shields?
You do.
Great.
You can give me a oh god, it's not piloting. Give me an engineering check to see if you can how fast you can get those online.
Dave, is there something that Snicked
I'm
can't?
so glad that Snicked is flying and that I'm in engineering because that's a good one.
Not bad.
I'm just good with machines.
I feel like you have a plus 15 to everything.
Sander, you feel like you've bought the crew some time as you're able to kick on the shields in the back, which is actually where these people are approaching from. So
shields are up, Captain.
Luna, you can kind of suddenly see this stuff little, and it kind of disappears and goes invisible again, which is you've seen that 100 times. You know that somebody has got some of the shields working here.
I can't shoot through anymore.
You can't shoot through anymore. You could leave, but you could leave potentially.
Leave?
Like
what?
you could walk out of the hangar and try to shoot some more, or you could just rely on the shields. Or you could try to help Snicked and or Domino do the things that they are trying to do.
Cody, you said I could try again.
Yes, you sure can, sir.
Cool, I
would
did.
let you
I rolled a 36.
20, but that takes 20 minutes.
That's okay. I rolled the 36. I took a 19. So
Yeah,
fine.
36. You hack through the system, and you have the turrets fully and completely operational.
Perfect.
Do you want
so
to fire
he-
these off?
he's flipping things and he looks back and goes, Luna, the guns are online.
I run in and I'm like, all right, the guns are down. We're gonna be we're screwed. I just tried to get them to work, and then they just come back on.
And you turn around and
run to
Luna's
the back of the
already
ship.
sitting in the front seat.
Never mind. I'll go get on.
I will tell you this: these, based off of the shields that they have, and because you took out the first speeder, in an explosion, the other two speeders, you're going to have a chance to fire off and clean these guys up before they reach you. All I need you to do is give me a. It's not piloting check. God, what is the check? What's the check on your sheet?
Engineering.
Engineering. Give me an engineering check, madam.
Okay, I can. That's a thing that I can do.
Unless you're not trained in it.
Yeah, you're fine. An 18 is going to be more than enough to hit them. And since your weapons are designed for like serious space combat and ship-to-ship combat and defenses, I want you to describe how Luna absolutely wrecks these guys as Snick finishes blasting off and warming up the ship engines.
I think it's just like Jacob was describing, where he's like, and I can't get them on, we're all gonna die. And Domino gets them up, and then you just hear as the guns start going off, and she's like, "It's fine, I got it. It was jammed. There was a piece of gum under and she just leans under and pulls a piece of gum out and just kind of flicks it off."
I run back there, and then I'm like, "Great job!" And I just turn the other way, and I'm just running back and forth, doing nothing helpful at all.
Beetle is just like slumped in the corner, and his hands are like over his head, and you can hear him like, "I don't know why I agreed to do any of this. This is so stupid. They're all gonna get me killed." Like, as you guys begin to,
Jet picks up the gum. Oh, that's where that went.
unfortunately, you guys are not completely safe and away from Shield Haven at the moment. A few moments kind of go by, and you guys begin kind of exiting this ship world's space in the near space close to it. Beetle runs. Who is working on like the main systems right now for targeting and tracking other stuff?
Well, I'm on sensors in the ship's science station. So
you are going to. I mean, it's very obvious to you. There are several Warhounds who are pulling up their ships and beginning to kind of pull away as well.
Captain, we have incoming Warhounds. I would suggest we jump immediately.
Yeah, we should do that. If we can't, then we gotta shoot them down.
Did you say shoot something?
Yeah, shoot those guys.
We can make the jump now, but they'll probably be able to see where we end up going. And we have to check the system for tracking.
Well, take him down, and then we'll try to get out of here as quick as possible.
He kind of steps over, and he immediately pulls up he walks over to the main console, and you see him inslert. He inserts it. That's a new word that I made up for this shit. He inserts a little fob into the main computer system, and you can see an entire star system come online in a sort of holographic.
This is what Lacia wanted me to give you.
And he's kind of punching some more stuff in. It begins to focus down, and you see it spin into one of the main planets.
This is where we're headed, Greth. Are we making the jump?
I don't want them to follow us. We need to take them down, make sure they can't come with us.
I'm not sure we're going to be able to take on all the hounds.
How many are there? Can I see?
There's Asander. Yeah, Asander. You're seeing several ships, and by several I mean maybe 5, maybe
I'm
6,
registering 5 vessels,
7
vessels to
We can make the jump. Do it. Go.
We'll lose them in the fracking draft.
Perhaps go somewhere else first. Like,
Did we decide on shooting?
What's somewhere else that we could go? That's a good idea.
Captain, what if we send all engines to dead stop, let them pass us, and then fire on their rear?
That's a brilliant idea. Try to pull that off.
Captain, remember what happened last time? You tried to engage more enemies than you're just there's more than
we all got sent into it, and I'm like sitting down at this point. I'm like bracing. I'm like, we all got sent into a torture prison, then we miraculously escaped. And what happens every time with this group? All right, the Rogue Infinity always makes it out, and we might all die. Pull it off, Domino.
We can
transferring all power to shields.
We can head to Absalon Station and make a secondary jump from there.
All right, let's do it.
All right, making the jump.
To engines.
Haven't been there in a long time.
Diverting power to shields and diverting power to engines. Power back to open the pod bay door.
I just want to live. This is such a terrible decision.
So what does Snicked, the pilot, actually decide to do?
He's going to head to the station.
Okay.
Epsilon. Although we got to be careful there. I might have a couple warrants.
That's fine.
Just a couple?
Well, per identity.
Fuck
Standards.
We'll be fine.
You see the telltale sign as Snick slams down the drift engine drive of space, looking like it begins to crackle with lightning around this sort of opening up gap, and you guys go hurling in to the vortex and swirling unknown of the drift.
Now, Captain,
And you disappear.
Yep.
I have a probe for you.
You're gonna probe me?
Yes, to the medical quarters.
I don't want to be probed.
Is anybody even gonna ask what?
Captain.
I gave up everything for you people.
I stand up, I walk over to him, and I'm like holding on to my wounds, and I put my hand on his shoulder, and it's like, look, Beetle, right?
Right.
Yeah. Really, really appreciative. Love everything you did. Really got us out of that pinch there. We were all about to probably
Twice.
die. Yeah, very, very helpful. Really, really. We'll reward you. You will be forever in our debt. But I've lost a lot of blood, and I think I'm dying. So I will. Domino handles the ceremonies. Speak to him if you. Yep. All right, Doctor. Let's get me probed. And I walk into the back.
Beetle, I'm pretty sure we're gonna all fracking die. Every time I get in this ship, I'm pretty sure we're gonna fracking die.
I left my shop.
You over the stealing column.
I'm not gonna be able to go back. I gave up my whole business.
It's all right.
For
I got
this.
this book I'm sitting on.
Domino, does he not remember the last time he was probed?
I tried to ward him to relax.
We don't want another repeat.
He protests every time, but I think he actually likes it. The Doc's got a thing.
In the background.
He definitely didn't relax.
This is gonna be a 4-day journey. This is gonna be a 4-day journey back to the Pack Worlds. If you guys haven't played Starfinder and you're interested in learning a little bit more about it, one interesting thing about the drift technology given by Triune is that for some reason, the Packed Worlds, that star system, all drift gates lead back to Absalon Station. Everybody can make their way back to the Packed Worlds. So, and that is part of the technology gifted by the god Triune, spread throughout the galaxy here. So, you guys have a pretty good grasp on where you're going. You've made trips to Absalom Station many, many, many times in your travels. In fact, that was the last place that you saw Lacia over 2 years ago. You know that it is going to be about 4 days. Who is doing what during this time?
I will be in Medbay healing up everybody, as healing in Starfinder, as in Pathfinder, takes a long time.
Well, good news that you're on a ship with a medbay. It's almost like, that's something you worked towards building.
You
It's
think?
like we have a doctor.
And the medbay is probably bigger than usual medbays. I just needed the space.
Especially for this crew. Luna, what are you doing during this travel?
Are there any repairs that need to be done to the ship since it was sent to auction or anything to make it to
Interesting.
modify it?
Interesting. There wasn't a lot that had to be done. Mostly it was the weapon systems had been kind of had a digital police boot put on it, for lack of a better term, kind of disabled during the auction process. It does look like there is maybe a few things here and there that the Goreborn, when boarding your ship, kind of didn't give a crap about and banged up and scratched and knocked over and stuff like that. But for the most part, the ship is still functioning. It's just a little bit of cosmetic stuff internally from when they were searching the ship.
Okay. I think she's just putting everything back to how it was, and cleaning her weapons, reloading, counting ammo, all those things, doing inventory of what's on the ship.
Okay. And Domino and Snicked, what about you guys?
I'm going to try and figure out if anyone else here actually knows how to pilot and someone's getting some lessons if not.
Domino can pilot in a pinch. You are a better pilot than he is, but he can take the wheel if you need to go do snicked things.
What are snicked things?
Don't ask.
We don't ask.
Machines are snick things.
Yeah, we all.
I think given Domino's skill set, he can actually run the entire bridge well enough that we won't explode in the vastness of space, so that everyone can kind of do their own thing. But what he's doing now is like Cypher in the Matrix. He's just casually sitting, trying to look as human as possible as he scrolls through the ship's log and emails to find out what was done while the ship was gone and if there are any more emails. And then he's sorting them to everyone's inbox, everyone except the doctors, because he does read the doctor's emails and then sends them over there, as is established by the doctor's lore.
Okay, I love it. And then what about Jet? Outside of being probed, I'm just gonna presume violently. What?
It's about that long, and it goes down the throat so that it gets a full spectrum analysis of the entire body from the inside out. You wouldn't shell out for the external scanner, Captain.
Yeah, after that's over,
It's the same probe in both sides.
It's a versatile tool.
The next day, I will check on everybody and make sure that everybody's all right, and then I'll go over to Beetle, and I'll probably talk to him and just be like, "So you left everything behind, didn't you?"
Unfortunately.
Yeah. Well, so did all of us. All right, and so now you're a part of the Rogue Infinity. All right, well, a very special mission. Not many get to be a part of an organization like this, and we just say it's a great opportunity to have you here for us and us here for you. So
let me just say,
And you see him kind of pull up with his second hands.
I appreciate the offer. It's gonna be a hard pass for me. Lacia did me a favor a long time ago. She called in some favor with the Starfinders and helped me rebuild my business after some pretty terrible things went down. And so I'm not looking to obviously I can't go back, and I did help you twice.
What are you planning on doing then?
Well, mostly I'm planning on getting cut in, or to see some kind of recompense, mostly for my shop. There was lots of credits left. I can't go back, fear of death.
Right. Yeah. Well, all right. Well, if that's what you want, you're just gonna, we'll drop you off at Absalom and you'd stay there.
Oh no, I don't think Absalom Station is maybe Gret does sound nice. Who knows? Maybe it's a
we can always use
paradise
more
or
team
something.
members. We have more bodies, the better. Especially those who will stay quiet, stay afraid.
Oh yeah,
I'm
bodies.
not saying you need to be afraid, but I'm just saying, you won't talk.
Are you
on the back and I light a cigar.
Are you attempting to officially intimidate him? Into
A little
compliance?
bit. I'm sort of a little bit.
It's a yes or no.
I don't want to make him be afraid of everybody. I just want what I just said. It's like, good. You won't go back. You won't talk, and you won't turn on us. That's what I want.
Give me an intimidate check, anyways.
That's fine.
Just give me an intimidate.
I just don't want him to, just think we're gonna kill him.
Yeah, I got you. Don't worry about that. Yeah, he seems to kind of.
All right, so what's the plan? I mean, are we gonna jump back straight over to Greth? The thing is that Lacia said that she said for me to offer you the coordinates.
Mm-hmm.
I don't.
Yeah, what are the coordinates?
I don't really know what all this is about. She kept saying something about Oasis, but everybody knows Oasis isn't real.
Yeah. It's not real, not at all. Where do the coordinates go?
And he kind of steps back over to the original comm that was set up in the middle, and he pulls it back up.
It goes to the Greth system.
Greth system.
Specifically on the third planet named Greth, go figure. The Greth system also has Lephis 591 and Earth on there as well. Looks like it's on the far reaches
All right.
There's not
Well,
any additional information on it.
Yeah, that's where we're gonna go next after we go to Absalom and get away from all the mess behind us.
Is that where Lacey is going to meet you?
Probably, I don't know. We kind of lost contact with her quite a bit, and she told us to meet us there, but everybody wants to meet us there. So maybe, hopefully, we find her. Maybe people didn't get to her first.
Okay.
Luna, when last did you have a medical checkup? I'm checking my records, and I don't see that you've been into my office at all in the past ever.
Wait, what?
They must have taken those records when they came aboard the ship. That's all I can think of. I've done inventory of everything else. It doesn't look like they took much. Yeah, it looks like that's missing. It was last week.
I was fairly certain that last week nothing happened with regards to having a check over your specifications. Now, either I can do them or I can get Snick to have a look over you. One engineer's problem is another doctor's solution, really. I'm just giving you options. Med bay, half a day.
Do you remember the last time you asked me this?
I am following along my duties as ship's doctor.
So I'm going to take that as a no. If my memory banks serve correctly, you tried to do this last time, and I reminded you gently that I don't sleep.
Yes, I know that you are an android, like Domino. I can still look over your systems, whether it's organic or simply synthetic or mechanical. I have the necessary skills to ensure that you are operating smoothly. We were all attacked by those bizarre creatures in the arena, and there was an incident with the Warhounds later on. I just want to check that you don't have anything inserted inside your being that could be causing you damage, or alternatively used as a tracking device to try and find us. One of the two. If you are actually dying.
Luna pats her. She's not wearing clothing. She's patting her legs and her arms, and just, I seem to be in one piece. If I need assistance, I'll be sure to let you know. I know where the medical bay is. Here's a list of the inventory, and she just kind of does that really awkward, quick walk away to make it look like she's not running.
Walk away. I, from a distance, am just like, everybody on the ship gets probed. If I get probed, everybody gets probed.
Don't take it personal, Doc. She won't let me trick her out either.
I have my own probe, thank you.
I trust the doctor's probe.
I need to talk to you about that one, actually, Domino. I'm not entirely convinced it's sterile. Snicked, you're up next.
Frack. I gotta run some systems myself. Make sure they didn't put anything on the ship, you know. Hey, Scrap Heap, why don't you go sit in on that checkup for me?
Yeah,
Scrap Heap. And Scrap Heap heads to the medical bay.
So Sander is busy probing everyone.
Apparently not everyone, just Scrap Heap. Cool.
A few days go by. And you know that you are getting close to Absalom Station. Jet, Sander has done a magnificent job in healing your bone structure from the bone venom dealt to you by the Crest Eaters.
You've done a marvelous job at repairing my bone structure.
You're actually feeling pretty good.
I'm feeling
as much as the crew
pretty good.
of the Rogue Infinity jokes, Sander's quite a proficient doctor in keeping you all healthy and fit as a fiddle. How do you say that in South Africa, guy?
As fit as a fiddle, absolutely.
I didn't fucking know. I mean, I was curious.
Now say it in Afrikaans if you could. Just something different.
Netzurech.
You could have said anything. He's like,
Yeah.
Fucking Klingon in here. Like, we don't know.
Get fucked.
You know that you're getting very close to reaching the Pact Worlds and to reaching Absalom Station. Is there anything you guys want to do, or is there Beetle's asked you a few times for what the exact plan is once you guys reach Absalom Station? He seemed kind of convinced that it was a urgent matter, but he wasn't sure how urgent because Lacey didn't leave him any formal instructions on when she would contact you, only that once you guys reached Greth, she would eventually be in contact.
Did anything come
Captain's
up in the
going to make a plan, and it's going to go to shit.
So plan A then. Cody, is there anything on the comms? Did anything come on through like old emails or space emails from Space Google?
Nothing from Lacia.
Space Google.
Nothing from Lacia.
No, anything at all.
I would say
I checked
no.
the spam folder.
I would say no.
Xander has a hefty spam folder.
I would say no, not out in the outreaches. Once you guys hit the Pact Worlds, most likely you're going to get flooded if you don't have a good filter up. But out in the outer reaches, I mean, that was part of the reason that you guys went out to. It's one of the reasons that particular star system with the Argosa system is so far out there. Like, that's why all those pirates in the trading outposts are out there in the outer reaches.
I think Domino is the firewall, so he understands that Assander believes wholeheartedly that he's a human, and that's why he clicks on all these links. So he filters out all of the extensions and make your something or other bigger limbs. He filters out all of those spams. They actually never actually make it to him because he knows he'll click on those and then the whole ship will crash.
Jet does it too, but he uses Assander's email.
Yeah.
Ooh, a Diaspora Prince wants to send me money.
Luna goes through everything that Domino says no to.
Hefty space babe. So that's Jets.
Did you say hefty?
I chose.
Like the track.
I'll let you guys make your own assumptions.
Oh my god.
So my question is, are you guys going to form a plan before you reach Absalom Station and come out of Drift?
No.
Can we scan for ships following us in the drift? Is that possible?
You can. The drift is so fluctuating. There's chunks of other realities and other stuff that kind of floats by as you guys pass by. It almost is like its own realm. It's not even that you're moving through your space so fast. It's a different world. It's a different space. It's a different a plane of existence, so to speak. So you can certainly try.
Snicked, I have a quick question for you. Do we have any cargo aboard the ship that we don't need? Scrap, that sort of thing that might be able to combust or be exploded?
And that's a good question. Check with Luna. She did the inventory.
We have Domino. She just doesn't say anything else after.
He is a valuable member of our crew.
Is he an explosive?
No.
He could be a projectile, though.
Do we have
a good
anything
distance.
else? Perhaps
the right
old
force.
shuttle that we're not using? I just remember one of the things that they used to do at the academy if they were trying to throw people off their trail was we could modulate our engine outputs, dump some rubbish, make it explode, and it would look like we exploded upon exiting the drift. And that might throw people off of our trail, perhaps.
I like that idea. It's worth it. Even if it doesn't work, it might.
I don't think we have enough to simulate a ship, an entire ship.
You do remember having a couple pallets worth of Shargosa fluid, which in some places, in some corners of the galaxy, some of those places might be used to generate certain types of drugs and or narcotics that most people would not look terribly well upon.
That's not where I thought that was going.
You guys remember when we went to Mexicus and we got that explosive shit? And, it's kind of like drugs. And we still have all that.
The drugs.
Yeah.
Yes, that's why the doctor started probing you in the first place, to be able to smuggle the drugs.
Well, we just learned that was it's a tactic, all right? It's not.
And then we found a way across anyway, so it was all for nothing.
We made a lot of money, all right? Okay, it was a good strategy, but still, we've got that.
It turns out you can butt chug drugs.
That's not the official medical term.
What is the official medical term?
I'm going to
not a doctor.
We could dump that though.
That's flammable. Is that correct? That should make a giant explosion, perhaps.
If it were triggered properly, yes.
Well, it's not really.
Whose share is that going to come out of? That's a lot of cheddar sitting in there.
And you guys have also been cleaned out of credits, if you will remember.
Well, remember, guys, we're about to find Oasis, meaning that we're about to be very, very rich. So we could blow a few drums of drugs.
I'm thinking that maybe it would be wise for you to have some skin in the game. It'd kind of be on an equal playing field with me for needing to find Oasis. So I think that's a great plan, Sander. It'll show some loyalty that I sacrificed a lot. Maybe you guys sacrifice a little as well. And then, that's teamwork mostly. That's building a bridge.
Actually,
this guy, just shoot him in the head like you did the other guy.
I'm thinking about it.
Actually, there's a Nerubian space prince who wants to give Sander all of his money.
No. Never. Done it before.
Do that. Tried it once.
No, this one looks legit.
Really? I go over and I look. How much does he need?
He doesn't seem to need anything. He just wants us to give us all of our bank statements.
Alternatively, you should respond by saying that we have 14 kilos of puppy meat, and that if he could sell that for us on the black market, we would split him 70-20 in our favor.
That's a good idea. Send that.
Did you say 70-20?
Sent.
Yes. Well, if anyone responds, I mean.
All right, back to the plan where we're blowing up all of our drugs.
I think we leave what we have and maybe sell it when we can, and just land somewhere that's not obvious. Maybe.
Absolutely.
We're really risking a lot there, though. We might get more people on our trail.
Yeah.
But if it doesn't work and they still come after us, then we wasted all of those resources.
I'm fairly certain that we can modulate the ship's output so that it doesn't register too big on sensors if they try and scan for us after the explosion. We run dark for a day or two. They fly past us. Space is very big.
Snicked you here on the your system as you're piloting. Drift department in 15 minutes.
Ah, shit.
Frack, we're going to have to make a decision one way or the other. You guys really think we're going to find this Oasis place?
You gotta believe
Oasis
in
is a
something,
myth.
Snicked.
If Larissa says that it is there, then it is there. There's nothing to debate on that one. And we probably should talk about what I said in the warehouse. But that's for another day. We don't have to worry about that just right now. We've only got 15 minutes. Captain, what are we doing?
Listen, everybody. You ever heard of the greatest heist ever pulled? Of course you haven't.
Practice! I just pull it as we're exiting and unload the cargo.
I'm like about to do a whole story of like, all right, we can all find it. And you just do like, all right, well, that's the decision.
Snick, as you look out the back, like everybody's like, "Oh my god!" and they're like immediately like up against the glass to like see it, watch this huge explosion, and you see 1 barrel, 2 barrels, 3 barrels, and they're tumbling out slowly in the direction. And right as they're about to smash into the rock and everybody's preparing for this enormous explosion, you see the first barrel go, boom, and start bouncing off completely in the other direction.
Luna, that's your department, isn't it? I need to go and modulate the ship's output. I'll be back. I'm going to engineering because I'm going to go and shut down everything.
Is there a way that she can get out of the ship, since she doesn't need to breathe, and kind of like latch herself onto the side as if she were going to do repairs and shoot at it?
Yes. You could also shoot it with your...
Oh, she's aware.
We have laser guns.
She's aware.
I mean, I just wanted to make sure that you're picturing the same thing that I'm picturing. Yes, you could do that. That's a thing you could do.
Going over and like clank, slap, attaching yourself to the chip. I'm like, we have guns with giant lasers on it. You don't have
You hear
to.
her like muttering to herself, and then she's outside the ship, and she's like,
Yeah. As soon as
On behalf of CODY, I would remind you that just so you know, as you go on a spacewalk, if you have to pay for your own character.
I turn to everybody. I'm like,
You see the airlock close and then the back one open and Luna's doing the mouthing thing that she said. You've got yourself hooked in if you need to be hooked in, Luna. And you are on the hull.
The airlock closes and untethers.
Are you taking aim? I mean, what are you gonna shoot it? I'm not gonna make you roll. You guys
I already rolled it.
I got a 26.
Boom! Just a huge explosion. If just enormous green flame shoots everywhere as the Shargosa fluid just absolutely ignites and an enormous explosion. Thankfully, there's so much debris nearby from this area of the drift that it just sends everything scattering backwards and kind of relatively away from you. But it also, Sander, as you look back and Luna makes her way back into the ship and closes the doors, the airlocks close behind her, it looks like a ton of debris back there. The debris is totally and completely everywhere spread out. It would take a significant portion of time to actually check or scan, and you can see that it's drifting farther and farther apart. So if they do want to stop and check everything, if you are being followed, it would take some time. I mean, you know, successful ploy is successful.
Doctor, that was a great plan. Luna, that was really badass.
Shutting off everything now. I pull the switch and the ship goes dark. Hopefully.
I turned to Beetle. I had to friggin' do that. Otherwise, he was just going to squeak and squeak and squeak and squeak, and he wasn't ever going to stop.
Oh, great. And you see him kind of give his little, like, two fingers and thumb up.
Hey, Snick, do you know that I can hear you, right?
Yeah, I know, boss.
Is there ever going to be a day where you're going to listen to me?
I listen to you way too much as it is. You're squeaking all the time.
They probably got that right.
You begin to see the rift kind of begin to spread and open, even though the ship is dark. And it propels forward into a beautiful black void of space. And in front of you lies the Pact Worlds.
Dun dun!
Yep, we've been thrown out of that one. We're not allowed back there.
You open up and you can see off in the distance the tiny, faint little speck that is Absalom Station as you continue to drift closer towards it.
Hopefully we've thrown our pursuers off track. Do we still need to go to Absalom Station?
Personally, I would probably prefer not. No reason or anything like that. Just, you know, maybe there are some grudges in certain places, and you know, a lot of misunderstandings.
Mr. Beetle, I appreciate your input, but you are technically a passenger on board the ship. I was referring to the captain as to whether we should...
Does anybody need to stop at Absalom for anything?
Cody, what are the fuel levels of our ship?
You're fine at the moment. I mean,
Are we fine to make it to Griff?
We're a little more than half.
You're just riding that E, baby.
We'll make it.
No, I mean, like the current power cell for the ship is more than adequate enough to make several more trips to far reaches of space through with use of the drift engine. If you were to try to manually make it out there, totally different story. Using drift technology, you're fine.
Okay. There's nothing I need.
Is there anything anybody wants to stop for? Fast food, drugs? I don't know. I don't really see a reason to stop either. I don't think it's that great of an idea. Just might lure more attention to us. Oh, hey, we saw the Rogue Infinity and it was here and it was live. Maybe we shouldn't stop.
Sir, I'll remind you that we don't actually have any credits.
That's true. I think you have to pay to park.
And fast food.
That's also true.
Also, I don't have an intake port.
I've got some money.
Where?
In my cred stick.
Gross.
Yep. So maybe All right, let's leave it up to a vote. Who wants to stop an Absalom? I don't.
Freaking broke. There's no reason. Although they got some really good casinos in there.
That's true.
Just punch it.
Might I advise that we just follow in the wake of a bigger ship for a few moments? It will help to disperse any particulates that we are currently dropping. In case someone is looking for us, it will make it more difficult.
Well, here's the thing.
The wake of a bigger ship should scramble our signals and then just make a jump if you want. I'm just a doctor.
Cody, are there a shitload of ships around since we're in the pack world?
No, there is nothing around where you guys jumped out of drift space.
Cool.
You could head on to
follow-up.
Absalom Station, and there would be ships closer to that.
I have a follow-on question for you.
Okay.
So, in all of the space movies ever, your ship has an indicator, and I can theoretically spoof that indicator on a different ship. So if you're looking for whatever the hell the indicator number is on our ship, it'll look like it's that guy over there. Is that a thing in Starfinder, or are we making it a thing right now?
So you want your call signal, your beacon, to like different numbers on a plane. You want it to be a different call sign.
No, I want to make it look like our call sign is on someone else's ship.
Ooh, that's more difficult. Putting fake signal out from you is not nearly as difficult as trying to hack somebody else's system.
Stealth requires a lot of finesse, and if you go too far with it, it's going to look too obvious. If you pretend you're dead, you don't put your face on somebody else. So maybe that's a little too far.
See, I want to do like that, like a space version of Johnny Dangerously.
You know that it is possible. It's very difficult to do, and you do need another ship nearby. But it is possible. You have heard stories of people doing that.
He looks over to Snick and he says, hey, Snick, do you think we can make one of those ships? And he points towards like the dot that is Absalom. Look like this ship?
It's going to be pretty freaking tough, but I think we could try it.
I think that they think the two of us can do it.
Let's make it happen.
Agree with the captain on this one, if it makes any difference.
It doesn't.
What? Look, I trust you, Tom.
I haven't seen you in my medical bay recently either.
After this, Doc.
I don't think it's necessarily an entirely good idea because,
sir, neither was shooting that one guy.
Fair. All right, do it.
It's next. Punch it.
We cruise in towards the station.
You begin to cruise. So here's the interesting thing about this particular ship with the Rogue Infinity. Are you guys spoofing another number yourselves at the moment?
Probably not. We just
the first ship that you see
is the cops.
Is
the space fuzz.
The Rogue Infinity. It's not a famous ship. It might be an infamous ship in certain parts of the pack world, but it is allowed in. You guys aren't arrested necessarily on site in the packed worlds. It's mostly like people see you and like other people that are looking for you from other deals that have gone sour with this particular crew. They kind of like, oh hey, they're back, and so you guys roll up. And the first few ships you see are 3 different Vescarum ships that are coming into port as well. You guys kind of have caught up with them, and they're getting close to trying to dock, and you can tell that they're being contacted. They're still a while up in front of you. Visually you can see them. On the radars you guys can see them. But they've already been contacted, and you can see them kind of lining up in a very familiar form. Kind of like what the air traffic controller would do here at Absalom Station, or the space traffic controller would do. And he's, they're calling them out and giving them different routes to land at different docks. Those are the first few ships that you guys see. So you want to try to hack one of the Vescarum ships?
Yeah, we're basically trying to make we're trying to make the VIN on our spaceship be their VIN.
I gotcha.
They look like us.
So the question is not doing it. The question is doing it and not getting caught.
Sure.
So who wants to try to attempt to do this?
So I'm assuming this is going to be computers, in which case I will aid Snikt or Snikt will aid me. I think
I'm happy to aid.
I can help.
I don't know how many aids you can have.
One. So
Just one.
Who wants to do this? Luna, do you want to jump in on this?
Is it computers or engineering?
I would make this. I tell you what, we'll make it really interesting. We'll make it an engineering check and then a computers check.
Okay.
Yeah, I mean, I have a. I mean, not to metagame, but I have a decent enough score for computers. So does Snikt.
Go ahead. I mean, so do I. But go ahead.
So is aid? Is that just a +2?
It is, but they have to beat a DC 10 first. No, DC 15 first.
So Mike, so
whoever's aiding, give me that roll first for engineering.
I think that's you, Snikt. For engineering.
No, he's doing.
You want me to make the engineering check? I think.
I can aid him. I can try and aid in engineering if you like.
I have a 21 on my engineering.
I don't have that, but I can probably.
Right.
You can aid and give Mike a +10.
Somebody give me whoever is aiding. Give me the aid roll first.
All right.
Okay.
I'm not entirely convinced this is the right course of action, Snikt. I don't really know what I'm doing here.
You try desperately to help him. He doesn't seem he's much helped, Snikt. Why don't you jump in here and try to make this happen?
All right.
You've got to kind of get into their systems first. That's Saber Dice 4. A 25
Saber Dice 4
is enough. A 25 is enough to get past the first check. The computer's check is going to be much more difficult. You're going to have a DC of 32.
Okay.
To successfully place this VIN, and how badly you fail, you might get caught.
All right.
So who's aiding on computers?
If you want to make the check, I'll aid you.
Sure, go for
Luna.
it. So roll to aid.
Luna,
You and I are doing engineering.
Okay, Snikt, you have successfully aided him.
So I get a +2.
+2. Oh!
35. Get fucking wrecked.
Okay.
35.
So, I want you to describe what happens, because you guys have pulled up to these Viscarum ships who are lining up to dock at Absalom Station. You drop off your VIN, and I assume you boogie back back into the drift before anybody who's following you sees where you've jumped to again.
It's like when you cut through the parking lot. It's like you're going through, you're like, oh, no one needs anything? Okay, and you keep going.
Yeah. I feel like because of who's running this ship is whatever the hell Snikt is and whatever the hell Domino is. It's like, you know, when a plane gets refueled while it's flying, it's that, but inverse. So we kind of like coast underneath one of those ships, and just like a tether just comes out and like boop, just grazes the underside of their ship, and then poof, just the virus onloads, and then we just and just leave. Yeah.
Beautiful.
It does some of this,
That's
some of
great.
these, and then it just.
And you guys make the jump. Hey, give me 1 second. I got somebody knocking at my door. If you guys want to figure out what the rest of the plan will be, I will be back in literally 10 seconds.
Is the rest of the plan wing it, Jet?
Once we arrive at Griff, Captain, do you have any orders specifically for us?
Not entirely. I don't really know what we're getting ourselves into, so we're really going to have to be winging it.
Yes.
So what we normally do.
Yeah, well, we always do. It will be fine.
Perhaps now would be a good time to clarify what happened in the warehouse.
Did anybody get it like tortured like really badly?
It was fucking cold. They tried to freeze me out.
We didn't get tortured at all.
Yes, and I should still check you for cryo damage, Snikt, when next you are in my med bay. I should point out that Scrap Heap is an excellent patient. I thoroughly enjoyed my time with Scrap Heap.
It was actually funny. The doctor just started spouting off things. We didn't even get tortured.
Oh, well, that's really good. They put a neck thing on me, and it was terrible. So,
yes, about what I was spouting off about, Doctor.
Mm-hmm.
Do you remember any of that?
Yes. That you're in love with the lady. I forget her name, though.
Listen, you remember.
That's the one.
Oh, that's adorable.
Well, yes, only she doesn't know. So when we meet her again, I would appreciate it if you didn't tell her anything along those lines. It was We were in a difficult situation, and I thought that it would be best, and deception didn't seem the right course of action. So I obviously...
All
right?
Email
Don't worry, I
deleted.
won't say anything.
Luna, you see as she's just kind of sitting in the corner quietly, she has mostly human-looking features as she was rebuilt, but you just see one of her eyes shining a little bit as you're saying all this, and then you say, "Don't say anything," and the light goes out, and she just turns back around.
delete.
Beautiful. So, are you guys making the jump back into the drift as quickly as possible? I'm assuming based off of what you've told me. Then in no time, Snicked has you guys back into the drift. Typically, it's not great to make back-to-back drift jumps, but you guys have been on the Rogue Infinity for a few years, and you know that the ship is more than capable of handling it.
We're fine. We lost a wing one time.
What's interesting about the drift this time, as you guys kind of make that crackle and then jump into the drift, is on the left side. Forgive me, I don't know ship terms. What is it? What side is that? What's left side? I'm sure they'll tell me in chat.
Left is starboard. Oh, it's port.
Starboard?
I rest my case.
Starburst.
I rest my case. It's port side.
All clearly sailors.
Because port is four letters, isn't that it? Left is 4 letters, port is 4 letters, and then starboard is right.
Well, ship's dock on the left. That's all I know. So, and that's
on the
port
left side of the ship, you guys can see what can only be described as an active volcano that has been ripped out of the material plane and pulled into the drift. And for a moment, it looks kind of pretty. Like it's glowing and it's kind of beautiful and has luscious green terrain down below it. And then you realize that due to the nature of the drift, that several of those molten spews have not cooled like they would in regular space and are beginning to sizzle and crackle all along the ship as you pass through this field of lava.
Oh, we're getting lavaed.
What should we do, Captain? Shields? Can we raise shields in the drift? I don't think we can. I thought there was some kind of...
Six, can we raise shields in the drift?
Can we raise shields in the drift?
Sure, you sure can.
I'll also engage evasive maneuvers.
You begin to engage in evasive maneuvers. Give me a piloting check, Snicked, if you would be so kind, to try to navigate quickly and sharply away from most of this. And of course, Snicked is unbelievably talented. And for the most part, you can see that several of the systems kind of fluctuate for a moment, and you can physically look out the main port window and see several areas of the ship that appear to be kind of burned and sizzled away, but nothing major. Anything more than like small meteorites or anything along those lines. And because Snicked is such a phenomenal pilot, you guys managed to make it out of here without taking further damage to the ship. You realize, based off of the coordinates given to you by Beetle to head to the Greth system, it's going to take an additional 2 days in the drift to make it all the way out.
We can live 2 more days, right?
Yes, we could do medicals.
Nope.
The 2 days pass relatively quietly. Nothing extraordinary is found in the drift.
Can that be canon real quick? You just pulled like a fast food cup out of nowhere.
Yes.
But it's like a 10-year-old space Taco Bell with like an old movie on it, like the collector's cup. He just has that. He has a cup holder in the captain's chair.
Everybody knows that the future is Taco Bell. Sylvester Stallone told me so. back in the 90s.
I picture it, so I know you're going for like a Star-Lord kind of thing, but I just picture you as like cool guy Captain Kirk in like the new age Star Trek movies when he's just like casually sitting in the thing with the
That's exactly what he does.
perfect.
He's not cool at all. He tries to be.
But it's like that Dane Cook joke where you just try to you put it in the cup holder, but you can't find it. You don't want to look at it.
Yeah, and
Just circle the hole.
The next 2 days
That's
goes
really-
by relatively quietly, and you guys exit the drift and out into the Greth system. In front of you is a mostly covered in water world with a few different continents built onto it. And you can see this kind of off from the distance. It's not a mono-terrain world or anything like that. This isn't, Tatooine. This is a real living, breathing planet. And there's not very many places on here, and you are kind of approaching this. Is there anything you guys want to do before heading down? Based off of the coordinates that Beetle has given you, it appears that these coordinates lead not just to this planet, but specifically to a sector on this planet.
I would like to scan for any ships in the immediate area.
You do so. You do not get anything back. Your systems give you a little bit of information on the actual star system itself, and it's believed that Greth has only been scouted and scanned a few times. The information given back is there is some primitive life here, but they are nowhere near the advancement of like a big technological one, because it's such a small habitat area. There's habitable area. Jesus Christ. It's such a small habitable area on this mostly water planet that they haven't spent a lot of time on it or looking over it or anything like that. There are 2 additional planets in this particular star system. Both are gas giants and are more or less just planetary bodies.
I relay that information to the captain.
I go, I was a gas giant.
Ugh. And I just follow the coordinates.
You've been eating baked beans again, haven't you, Captain?
Domino
right
flips a switch and a fan turns on overhead.
Like those shitty airplane fans on fucking...
I just click.
Yeah. And it's an exhaust fan, like it goes out of the ship.
Does anybody want to do anything else? Are you guys scanning the planet? Or are you guys going down? Give me an idea. What is the crew? What is the magnificent crew of the Rogue Infinity, infamous crew of the Rogue Infinity, doing to prepare to land on this planet that some reason Lacia has left you guys coordinates for?
I mean, we just scanned the planet, right? Just a second ago.
You scanned additional ships for sure.
Yeah, I'm monitoring for external comms. Basically, any comm signal not us that's coming from around us and from the planet side.
Okay, somebody give me a computer's check if you want to scan the particular planet, if that's the case, Domino.
Sure.
I want to make sure I look really cool when I get down there.
30.
I want to look up how much everything that we don't specifically need costs if we had to sell things
If you had to
don't
sell
have
the
anything on the
ship,
ship.
from our inventory. No, stuff like on the ship.
All we had was that shit we just sent out in space. That was our whole ship.
you have
med
all
bay.
of the gear on your character sheets, plus let's say another 800 credits worth of like random stuff, like an extra fire extinguisher and gas masks and different things along those lines that you guys would
Fire
naturally
extinguishers.
have. That's the
She
only 2
makes
things I
notes
can
of
think
the
of that
time.
might be on a spaceship is fire extinguishers and gas masks.
Who needs those gas masks?
You have plenty of those.
Who needs them?
When
Domino,
you hear spaceship, Cody thinks regular plane.
Domino, you get some information back that you get back that there is some life forms here. They appear to have a few structures down there, not very large, and then there's something that kicks back as kind of being an unscannable area, a large patch that is sort of blocked off from the scan. It gives you additional information about several of the plants and vegetation. This particular planet has a typical gravitational pull, so there is no additional rules or anything like that for you guys. This has a pretty standard gravitational pull to what you're accustomed to. And several of these plants are notorious for being hallucinogenics.
Nice.
Is there any sign in your scans, Domino, of Lacia?
There wasn't. However, if we play our cards right, some of the plants are drugs.
Really?
Oh, Cheddar, we're back in business, boys.
Like to run some tests before you start consuming them, but
No. We're selling them.
I like your thinking, Domino. I'm sure we can rustle up something, Captain, but perhaps we should land and see what Lacia has planned for us.
I'll just leave to Snicked. He'll take
There are people here.
hold it down.
I didn't detect any orbiting space satellites. I doubt that they're much more advanced than the 1980s.
The what?
Oh. Yikes.
So, Captain, where do you want me to set her down?
Bad fashion, that's all I'm
In
saying.
the lava, preferably.
No, not in the lava. Maybe down in the. So we got no scans. Lacia's down there. Yes, no, we don't know.
Oh.
Any cities? Any?
She said that she would be in contact once we reached Greth,
Greth.
or at some point.
Cody, is Greth the planet?
Greth is this planet. This is actually called the Greth system.
Got
the
it.
planet is also called Greth because
Learning.
that's how naming conventions go. To make things easier, this is the primary planet. It's the only one that could even be habitable.
Got
Did we
it. Are
send
there
some-
any cities, any big capitals that we could go to?
There are small villages, and if what the doctor says is correct, we should work on our local knowledge of their language. Totally rad, dude.
Oh no.
There's also a large area that is unscannable.
Did you tell us about that area, Domino?
I did just now, because that's when I heard about it.
There's a large area that's unscannable. That seems interesting.
Chat will back me up that I said that.
No, I heard you say it, but
I believe you.
I wanted to confirm. Well, that sounds like a good place to set down. We can't get scanned. They can't find us, right?
Or there's something there that's hiding.
That might be it. Maybe we should land in there.
I'm going to head in that direction.
Do it.
Sure, you head in that direction.
Power slide into a landing.
I would.
It's giving back a lot as you get closer and closer and closer, and you're able to, like with your scopes and stuff, you're able to actually get like visuals from your camera feeds from outside the ship and zoom in. You're getting a lot of interference directly from this area, and what you're noticing is that it's mostly surrounded by large, massive sections of like jungle and vegetation. You do notice a few spots. There's 2 or 3 different places you could probably land as you get kind of close that you can physically see. The area that was blocked off from your actual scanners is also physically blocked off from your view, and quite a bit of the jungle down below is covered in different little light patches of swirls and mists. Maybe it's just simply vapor, or maybe it's something a little bit stronger than that. The area that was impervious to your scans is also impervious to physically see through from your cameras. It literally looks like big, large clouds. But it's obviously on the floor level at this point. It is totally
I'd like
cloaked.
to keep track of as we approach, just to make sure that it isn't a geological phenomenon like intense dolerite formations causing gravimetric distortion. It's unusual that we can't scan the area. If it isn't geographic, then possibly, Captain, it must be generated by someone who doesn't want us to know that we're here, except that we know that there is something here because they're blocking our scans, which would be a bit futile, if you ask.
Well, makes sense. We always tend to go places we're not supposed to, right?
Of that I have no doubt. I would just prefer to know that we're going into a place that doesn't want us there, or that it's just
Snitch, can you land outside of it, not directly into it?
Are you asking Snicked or me?
Yeah, it's Snicked.
Snick. It depends. Do you want it to be scanned or not?
There are a few
We could
places.
do a flyover and kind of look at, check it out.
Sure.
You sort of have two choices, Snicked, based off of the information. I mean, you're a pilot. You get it. You have two choices. You can land blind and have no idea where you're landing or what the terrain looks like or if there's trees or whatever.
Dagobah
Or
style.
you can land in several different patches in the jungle that looks like, hey, there's enough room for you to put the Rogue Infinity down. One might also be better to give you cover from anybody else trying to find you. But
I asked myself, what would Jet do? And I do the opposite. I want to land in one of the places where it looks like we fit.
So you don't want to land in the cover. You want to land in a place that you like, I can safely land us here.
Yeah, pretty much, as long as it's in the unscannable area.
Okay. Yeah, you land as close as you can to this area in one of those little patches. As the ship begins to descend and touch down, you can see surrounding all around on all of the viewports trees, and vines, and jungle, and bushes and vegetation. A few strange birds flitter and fly by. Several of the plants give off different colors of greens and yellows and blues and pinks and purples. Not just flowers on them, but specifically their leaf colors.
Do you see that, Captain?
Yeah.
Photochromatic expression in the leaves of these things rather than in the flowers. Do you know what that means?
No.
Asexual reproduction. It means that they don't need flowers because they don't have pollen, which means they don't have sexes. It's quite remarkable, as a matter of fact. It does occur naturally on many planets, but it's unusual that it happens here.
Yeah. Is it dangerous?
Sample. And I probably should invest in some kind of antitoxin for the undoubtedly venomous insects that will inhabit this territory. If there are insects, as a matter of fact, since pollination provides a great motivator for a lot of airborne insects to fly around.
Once you said lack of sex, I lost complete interest.
Oh, yeah, me too. Don't worry.
Well, they technically have it with themselves. They're probably self-germinating. Self-impregnating.
Oh,
Yeah, I did that once, but they said you can't do that here.
I'll be in my med lab. Anyone needs me?
Well, should we go out in special spacesuits, or are we just gonna, bushwhack it?
I think Luna turns around to one of the gas masks that CODY described, wearing one of them,
Use those.
and just kind of throws the other two over to them.
You have so to give you an idea here, Luna. You androids do have some biological components. Some of you guys have lungs and stuff like that. Unless you have specifically replaced your lungs with mechanical stuff, most adventurers, most people walk around in a way that they have a spacesuit or some form. If something punctures the spaceship, and suddenly there's no air, that they can survive. And your suits, your armors, things like that, are more than capable of handling their own oxygen system if you guys want. In addition to that, you of course have these gas masks, which may be smart to take with hallucinatory stuff on the planet.
I'm going to take a gas mask.
I'm going in full EVA suit. This is a dangerous planet.
You're very Cloverfield at the moment.
You don't have a head.
There's a viewing window where the abdomen is.
It is a remarkably insensitive statement.
Your head is a glass jar. Like Domino watches you, because Domino doesn't believe that you're a human because you are a robot, right? He watches you put on the EVA suit, and if he had a face, you would just see it very confused. But his head is cocked like a dog as he watches you put clothes on. Protective clothing.
I go over to Domino and I put my hand in. It's like, just let him believe. Just let him.
But sir,
I'm a human, damn you!
I'm thinking I stay here with Star.
Yeah, you watch your ship. Good idea.
Watch the ship, let you guys know, radio you if people are coming. That way, if you guys don't return and you all die out in the jungles, I have the ship, which, will help me restart my business. So
Right.
I thought Stick jettisoned him.
That's a great idea. I've already switched the ship to my biometrics.
I'm gonna go over to I'm gonna go into like our storage, and I'm gonna find a random piece of the ship that probably fell off a long time ago that looks like wiring and like a motherboard and whatnot. And they say, just in case you do try to leave, and I'm gonna go over and I'm gonna put it on the ground. I'm gonna say, we've got explosives, remote explosives. We'll blow it up if you try to leave.
I'm not a thief. I gave all of my stuff to help you. I don't understand why you don't trust me.
We don't trust the little people, okay?
You know who doesn't trust people? Untrustworthy people.
Well, yeah, that's what we are.
He kind of looks
Technically, we're
shocked
all
at that
criminals.
statement, like, oh god.
Outlaws. What do you expect? Now, don't leave with our ship. We'll blow it up, and also Snick will probably bite your dick off. So, and I go there and I start lowering the.
You do realize I'm a female.
And Sharon and
Oh.
That changes a lot. I'm trying to leave the ship.
Domino walks over to Snick's station where he was piloting, and he like unscrews something, and he just pulls the steering column, like the joystick out, and kind of tosses it up in the air and catches it. I can't whistle.
You guys are the.
And then he proceeds to walk out.
You really didn't need to do that. I already keyed the ship to my biometrics.
I sure hope you guys don't have to leave in a hurry.
Oh, it's okay. I'm locking him in. Boop, boop. It's safe and sound.
Surrounding the ship
30 grung.
is it's miles of vegetation. Large yellow leaves, tall trees cast a shadow on most of the area. There is what can only be described as like a huge mountain of cloudy mist, which is probably about 3 miles off in the distance. You can see it enough from your ship. This is the closest place you guys can land. It's not terribly far. And it's big enough. It's just this huge mountain of smoke. You notice that the mountain has a very odd shape now that you're at the ground level and looking at it from the side. It is shaped very much like a cone. It isn't a swirling mist around this structure that you thought it was from the top view as you were coming down to land here on Greth. Being able to see it from this angle lets you see it. It looks like an enormous swirling misty cone.
After you, Captain.
Yeah. And I'm going to step off and just make my way over. And
you just step into this soft, moist ground, and the water here from this planet has just absolutely seeped to the atmosphere with a very damp, very heavy moisture in the air through most of the planet.
oh man, Jet squints his eyes, and then he just shoots the ground.
Nothing happens. But
Saw in a movie.
Your gun does startle a few birds as they go squawking off.
Suspicion. Saw in a movie. Don't worry about it. Let's keep going.
You guys actually do have movies, by the way.
Yeah, totally we do. There was this one where this guy lands in a giant mouth of a creature, and yeah. Anyways, I keep going.
Why is he our captain again?
Because I'm smart.
I think it was an honorary title.
It's honorary?
No, it's not honorary. Who said that?
Luna, Domino, what are you guys doing as you depart the ship?
Domino just follows the captain. He is out of his element when he's out of the ship. Clearly, as seen by that last combat where he did nothing. So he is following close behind Jet, whether he is captain honorary or not.
I'm also following with strapped in the scrap heap.
Scrap Heap's struggling, and he's struggling until you kind of get into the trees, and there's lots of like large roots and vines and stuff for him to kind of maybe grab onto the side a little bit. Into just the soft dirt and earth, you find his legs surprisingly sinking in pretty deep, and it's a bit of a struggle for you to just maneuver with your typical movement. What about you, Luna?
Can I roll a perceptions to see if there's anything around the ship while they're heading forward, just kind of watching behind us?
Yeah, you can investigate the ship. I think that would be probably perception. Let me just double check that. Yes, let's go with perception. 16. So you don't notice anything out of the ordinary. Is there anything in particular you're looking for?
Any signs of life? Anything that would...
Ooh, interesting.
People.
You don't find like a creature. You don't find any footprints, but you do notice several tufts of little blue hair clung to a few of the more sappy trees that are coated on one side. And as you're kind of like exploring, looking for something kind of outside of the plants, it's very distinctive to you with your Android sight, and you kind of like can zoom in and see that these are definitely hair. This is fur or hair or something.
Can I follow it?
You can continue to investigate and look around for it. Sure, it's in the other direction as Jet, Domino, and Snicked and Asander are heading. Do you want to catch up to those guys, or do you want to call them over? Or do you just want to head out?
She gets distracted.
Okay, you head off. I tell you what, I will take two perception checks from other people to notice. Otherwise, nobody notices. Jet does not notice because he's leading. Snicked, you're too busy stuck in the ground. Luna, let's see. So if Asander and Domino want to make casual perception checks to see if they even realize Luna's not with the group after a few minutes.
Before I do that, how close do we land to that dark zone?
About 3 miles.
3 miles? That's so far.
That's
My
not
legs
that
are so
20 minutes.
Perception of 15, as I'm
Let's
busy
see what
picking
Domino
up.
gets. Can you beat 18, buddy? Domino?
Perception is a thing. There it is. I cannot.
Yeah, you guys have no idea. So Luna, you go off to explore this sappy tree with some hair in the other direction.
I feel like she would take maybe one of her knives out and is just kind of like getting a sample and like putting it in a bag or something that she's, putting it somewhere in a compartment. And just, the doctor will like this. Maybe he
For
can
sure.
see what this is. And she'll just keep following it.
You want to just kind of keep following it into the forest?
Yeah.
Are you trying to move quietly?
I would say so. I mean, she doesn't know what there is, so she knows there's something
Give me a
nearby.
stealth check, Luna. Pretty quiet. You move through, and you're kind of like zooming in on different of these trees, and your eyes looking. You can kind of see the little reed comes up. It zooms in once, and you see a few trees away, another bit of this hair that is caught into the sap, this time quite a bit higher. You move over to that one, begin taking more samples. You look back, you find another one, and you're kind of following this along. About 10 minutes passes of you kind of just following and collecting and just kind of seeing where this goes and what creature you might find here. You come across a pair of humanoids with large fox ears, with bits of blue fur coming down the back sides of their hair and along their jaw lines and cheekbones and into their chest. You also see an enormous puffy tail that they have, and each of their hands has just a bit of hair, and a lot of pinkish skin underneath of that. But it sort of kind of goes along the tops of their hands into these long, kind of jagged like nails.
She's gonna have her weapons at her side, but her knives, but just ready for anything.
Okay. They seem to be playing.
Okay.
They seem to kind of be playing and hiding and this, and then you see one of them stand up, and they are wearing like a loincloth and carrying a short spear with them, but they are still kind of like playing and laughing. And you can also hear them talking and communicating with each other, but you do not recognize the language. And you know a lot of languages. You know quite a bit. You probably know the entire... I'm assuming you know the entire library from the Pack Worlds, or at least are familiar with it, even if you don't fluently speak it.
Yeah.
They're speaking something you've never heard of. There's a lot of grunts and clicks in it.
Are there any structures nearby or anything like that?
You don't see anything. No, you don't see anything. You see one of them kind of stop, and he doesn't look in your direction, but you see him, and he kind of makes this claw-like hand signal to the other one, and they begin to kind of like stalk around this tree, and as your eyes follow where their eyes are looking, you can see this enormous fat red bird up in a tree with two different beaks stacked on top of each other. And it's sort of preening itself. And you're kind of watching these two. One of the smaller one, without the spear, kind of goes over, and he begins to sort of claw and grab onto the tree in several different areas. And you could tell that's probably, he's doing it on the softer wood with the sap, and that's where this is coming from. And you could see his blue tail with that white tip begin to kind of wrap around with the sap. And you basically watch them begin to kind of hunt this bird. Flashing... oh, sorry.
Okay. I think she's just watching intently, yeah.
Is there anything else that you want to do while you're watching this?
Nope.
All right, Creeper. Let's slide over to Jet and Sander and Snicked and Domino. So Jet, you're leading. This is hot. It's sticky. It's uneven ground. It's bushes and shit in your face and branches. It's everything you ever hated or imagined hating about the jungle. You see several large lizards and enormous dragonfly-looking bugs that sort of fly up and buzz. And you swear for a moment that they mock you because they sort of hover very near your face, almost studying and looking at you before they fly off. Quite annoying. How are things going for you? What are you doing as you proceed to move through the jungle here?
We continue going forward and just hate these bugs. Anybody got anything yet? Anything that we could find? Lacia, nothing. Any building structures? Nothing. And at this point, I'll kind of turn and I'll look over. And I'll just be like, all right, well, Doctor, everything's all right with you. Snake Domino, just continue if you could find anything, any sort of end. Where's Luna? Where's Luna, guys? Where'd she go?
Hey, Tin Can, you seen her?
I didn't. Oh.
What was that?
You were talking to Scrappy.
Oh.
Keep up, Jacob.
Sorry that they're not actually physically in front of me. All right, Kate, we've lost someone. We need to find Luna.
I think
by the jungle.
Fine.
Yeah, or maybe she's dead, and we do need to find her. So this is important. She would have told us. No, she wouldn't have. But
No,
still.
I mean, nothing has killed her yet.
True.
Not know that for certain, Domino. Although we can remain optimistic that nothing has killed her yet.
No. I mean, up until this point.
Ah, yes.
If she's dead, it ain't gonna matter anyway.
We need to find her. We need to find her. And I'll kind of load my guns and kind of hold them up. Just be like, you see any kind of wild creatures? Kill them.
You guys have seen all kinds of little wild creatures.
Any dangerous wild creatures.
Little bugs in some form of a primate. bouncing through the trees, and all kinds of birds that continue to take off when you guys get too close in the trees nearby.
I'm going to try to locate Luna the best I can by just looking around and trying to see anywhere that she went.
You do this. Luna! Yeah, you don't see her.
Okay, well, he doesn't know, so he does that.
Domino puts his hands up to his mouth because he doesn't have one. But he puts his hands up and he kind of makes that cup kind of thing as if he had a mouth. And then a blue screen sort of appears and his voice is amplified as he goes, la 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 Luna, Luna, as he's shouting through the forest now.
Maybe she stayed with the ship.
I suggest we trace our steps back, Captain. In these kinds of situations,
Right, good idea.
Probably wandered off in a specific direction. I also want to ask, when last did you and Snick hydrate? This environment is not particularly conducive to the retention of
A
water.
lot of my body's very hydrated right now. And
I agree. We should probably crack some cold ones.
That's a good idea.
Thinking more along the lines of H2O, but if you want to, you are welcome to imbibe alcohol. That will probably not help.
For the record, you guys do have personal planetary-wide comms.
Oh,
that you can use
Luna,
as part of each
no.
of your your digital formats. You guys
remember that we have phones, guys? Hey, Luna.
Remember this is a D&D.
All right. Hello. Check.
Come in.
Come in. Hello.
Luna, you hear on your personal comm. Check. Luna, can you hear me, Luna? And immediately the two fox-like boys turn. The fat bird goes, ah! And it begins to try to flap away. One of them tries desperately to reach out and snag it first.
Is that a euphemism?
The other one drops down, and then they take off running into the woods. Or into
Can
the
I
forest.
try to shoot the bird?
Yeah. I want to ask very specifically what you're shooting it with, because I think that matters.
My rifle?
Okay.
She's just hunting.
Yeah, roll damage.
Nice.
You nail it.
Captain?
Oh, well done. Its wing just goes in a puff of smoke as it plummets to the ground dead. But the rest of the bird, you didn't popcorn chicken it. You just prevented it from flying away.
She's going to pick up the bird and run after them, holding up the bird as like a peace offering.
I don't know. We don't know where you went, and we're really wondering where you are.
You're hearing all this on your comm system.
And you're just like running, and he's just want to make sure you're not dead. If you don't respond, we're probably going to think you're dead, and that's not going to be good because we're going to have to find your body, and bodies go missing in jungles, and that's not very good.
Sir?
I feel like she's running, and all you hear is, I am in pursuit of possible friends. I will be back momentarily.
Oh, all right. Thank you. Oh, she's chasing people. Maybe we should find her. Hey, where'd you go? Where are you? We need to come find you.
You could.
I'm sorry, you're breaking up.
No, I'm not. You're just being an asshole.
Sir?
All of you know that
You
this
have
is
to
like
say,
a
oh.
planetary-wide comm system, and it's based off the ship at this point, and as long as you're within probably 50 miles of the ship, it's powerful enough to boost your signal. So within the quarter of a mile that each of you are from the ship, unless somebody's directly interfering, it's probably fine.
I'm going to try to be smart. And is it a possibility that because there is a link to each one, that we could locate where one of the comm units is?
You tell me if you think you would have built in some form of tracking based, trying to triangulate between her signal and the ship signal and your signal.
I don't know. I don't think I would have built it in, but I think it could be possible. So I don't think Jet could pull it off.
I will let somebody make a check if you want to do that. If
you think maybe we can,
you don't
like,
think you would have
reverse
built it in already?
Okay, where she is.
No?
I want to say yes, but I'm just going to say yes because it's advantageous for my situation right now. So I don't know.
Chat, decide really quickly for me.
If you would.
Oh boy.
If you put like a tracking device on?
I will unmute and roll to make it happen.
Can I roll against it to have found it because I know them? And left it in the ship? In the toilet?
I think that is definitely the way to go.
Well, I mean, if you have a comm system that they can communicate with, he's trying to triangulate you or with you. So, let's do this. Give me Domino 35. Jesus Christ. Yeah, Domino. Yeah. Fucking A. These rolls are so unbelievable.
Who's the creep now?
The guy who was reading everyone's emails is still the creep.
Oh yeah, I can track.
Is there any cybernetic tentacle stuff in there?
Yeah, little robot tentacles.
Sanders just like, based off of my last probe, I realized that she will need a bowel movement in approximately 7.5 hours from now.
How did I get involved in this conversation? I'm just quietly studying plans.
Probing everyone.
Probing people.
All right. Domino, you have a good idea where she is.
Yeah, so I think Jet spouts that out, right? And he's like, "Can we triangulate her?" And Domino looks and goes, "Yes," and then keeps walking.
Okay, everybody follow him. We gotta get to Luna.
Oh, no, sir. You just asked if I could do it.
Well,
Yes.
yeah, do it. Yeah, do it.
Oh,
Confirm. Yes. Correct. I accept. License, residence, all that. Yes.
I
read the terms and conditions. Accept.
don't have buttons.
Do you have an interface? I'm like poking him.
I think we should respect her wishes.
Continue. Is there an enter button?
Doctor? You can fix anything, right?
I suspect this is a psychotropic effect of the local flora and fauna, and since I'm the only one wearing a suit, I consider that the captain is probably he's probably hallucinating, that he's having an experience like Windows 95 or something. I'm not entirely sure.
And I just look up Domino. I'm just like, just find her.
Oh, no. And Domino goes to pick you up and like throw you over his shoulder.
What are you doing?
The doctor says that you're sick.
I'm fine. We just need to find. Don't stop it. What are you doing?
And he just continues walking the direction we were going.
Guy, I want to apologize for everything that Barnabas and Lionel ever did to you. I just want you to know that.
Why are you apologizing to him? He's about to find another bush like last time.
Oh.
Hey, that wasn't
Except
it.
this time he's just a brain.
I'm just really sorry, Guy. I take it all back.
No, you don't.
Okay, so Domino, you have Jet against his will.
He's ill. He's clearly sick. He's on hallucinogenic drugs.
Are you going back to the
I guess
ship
I'm going
or
to follow the
Luna?
cabin.
No, I'm walking in the direction we were going to begin with.
You leave Luna.
Snicked a middle finger.
Yeah, Luna says she's fine. She said, "I'll meet up with you guys. I'm finding friends." Domino believes her.
Luna, you run off on your adventure. We will get back to you in a little bit. However, all of the noise that you guys have been making, arguing about what to do in the case of finding Luna, plus all of the wildlife that has scattered from this area of the jungle to get far away from these strange creatures that they have never seen before, and they don't know of threats. You, Snicked, have noticed a couple of additional little creatures following you. These creatures appear to have some form of blue-like fox ears with blue hair and fur that comes down and around their jowl, extending kind of a little bit down their hand or arms and in patches on their hands underneath their pink skin or above their pink skin with the long fingers, and these sort of blue foxtails that curl up in a big white tip to them. They are wearing loincloths fashioned out of vine, maybe, or some form of foliage.
Hey, that's got to be pretty itchy.
They appear to be about not much taller than you are, maybe a little bit taller than Snicked. Maybe about 4.5 feet or so.
What do they appear to be doing?
At the moment, they appear to be sticking their heads out around a tree trunk.
Hey, yo,
And kind of staring
stop.
off
I
at
found something for you to probe.
I look up. What? What'd you find?
Really?
I nod and then Scrap People will point one of his arms in the direction.
Do we see these little blue things?
You do, and as you guys stop and look over and Snicked points, you can see them. You can kind of hear this what sound go off in the distance.
Are we to engage with these locals, Captain? If you recall, they are fairly primitive in their development stage, but I'd still like to study one.
Yeah, go ahead. Try to talk to them. I don't think they'll understand what you're saying.
I don't wish to communicate with them, Captain. They have very little that they probably could tell us of any value. If we could take one back to the ship and I can cut it open and find out what makes it operate, that would be a lot more useful.
Yeah, that's a little fucked up. Maybe don't do that.
I can talk to them.
I wouldn't cut it up while it's still alive.
On your shoulder, Domino.
Yeah. He just looks over to you. Yes.
Well,
it's just your ass.
Do it.
I can do both. And he raises his hand up to his face and like wipes it across where his mouth would be, and it like shimmers and like changes the color of his face to be like blue. And I cast comprehend languages.
Okay. They are far off in the bush from you at the moment. But as you are kind of doing this, you see two more on the far left. And then you hear some rustling behind you. And you hear four more as you look back to see them. You hear some rustling in the trees above you. 6 or 7 more of these things have kind of jumped and leapt and are crouching, holding these little spears and eyeing you with their big purple eyes. Then 4 more. Then 3 more. Then 2 more. And you can hear the kind of holler out, and you see maybe 30 of them, 40 of them surrounding you. They all appear to be wielding this weapon of spears, very crudely made. I mean, sticks, mostly.
Yeah.
But they are all keeping their far distance from you.
Oh, frack. Hey, Domino, I think I speak the language, and I pull out a couple grenades.
I would prefer the specimen to be intact. Damage really won't help me understand them any better.
I will warn you, there is 40 of them.
40 of them? This is not good. Maybe we should, I don't have any ideas.
They don't appear.
Yes, 40.
They appear to be kind of studying you, more curious about you than like hostile. I want to be very clear. They have spears. They are not being pointed at you actively.
Got it. Hey, Domino, are you talking to them? What are you saying? Are they saying anything to you?
I am right here. You would hear me talk. Hold on, sir.
To them, ask them what they're doing.
He like he adjusts Jet. Hail, friends. Which comes out to be like, board.
You kind of see a few of them stand around, like stare and like look over, and they're kind of confused. And then one of the big ones, and by big I mean maybe 2 or 3 inches taller than you, or taller than the rest of them, kind of stands up, and he hops down from the tree that he's on and kind of like tries to stand big and tall, and you could see him like puffing his chest out. And he takes his spear and he looks over and leans over, and it looks like he's about to say something. And then suddenly you guys hear this followed by this loud, enormous roar that cuts all the way through the jungle. And it appears to be coming from further down the path that you guys were headed. Immediately, these little fox people begin sprinting and scurrying all around. And you can hear them, Domino, because you've cast Detect Language. You can hear them saying one word.
Garignac.
Demon. Demon. And
Take to the trees, Captain.
They are scattered.
What are they doing? Are they saying that they love us?
They are not. I believe that there is a monster coming.
Oh.
The trees.
Luna,
I start climbing a tree.
He's like, I can barely hear it.
Hazmat suit, so it's very cumbersome.
Like Dr. Evil in his plastic suit. Yeah.
I can just picture a guy like a bear trying to like fucking like climb like this.
Lycra suit down the tree.
It's meant for a difficult bit of scene.
You are not the $6 million brain. Over to Luna.
More like $6.
Yeah.
$6 break.
You have been tracking these two little things to present them with the dead bird that you have never seen. It might have been rare. Maybe bald eagle status on this planet. You don't know. It's dead now. It's lunch for these two fox-like people. You are pursuing them. Describe how, in what way you are pursuing them.
She's running with the bird straight out as a peace offering, just running, chasing.
Just like an android, just like it's got the dead bird, and it's just like seek through the jungle. Are you trying to hail them in any shape, form, or fashion?
The bird leader.
Yeah, I think she's not trying to attract a bunch of them. I think she's just every once in a while, like trying to mimic the noises that they made. Maybe.
Yeah. How does that sound?
Nope.
You do your best to imitate some of these sounds. Eventually, you kind of corner them in this small little vined grove with a little bit of a drop off into another ledge and another kind of like, not really another level, but a higher elevation here in the jungle. And you could see one of them, and he's giving out this weird growl, trying to like be intimidating. And you could see that his mouth, even though it's kind of flat and round like you would expect a human's to be, it doesn't very snout. It's filled with sharp fangs in there, and he's trying to growl at you.
At me?
Yeah, he's doing it successfully.
She
He's
throws the
growling at you.
dead bird and just puts her hands like towards, like as far as she can towards him.
The smaller one, like, looks back up, looks down at the bird, kind of like crawls and gets down on all fours, and like crawls over and like reaches and snags the bird quickly back over, and they kind of look at it, and you can hear them. And they're kind of pointing over at your gun.
She's gonna slowly back away, realizing this is a bad decision. And she just sort of turns her comms back on and just, they have very sharp teeth. I did not plan for this. I think that we're going to be leaving now.
As you are saying this, Luna, you can hear off in the distance, and what's interesting is it actually comes through your comms as well. Like somebody from your team is about to reply back to you, and you hear that same sound from that enormous, and that followed by that enormous roar that is almost ground shaking all the way through the jungle. You look back, and you can see the two immediately drop the bird, and they tear off running. And you are alone here in the jungle with this just huge roar cutting through the air.
Does that sound like the direction she came from?
It sounds like the direction of, for you, both the direction of the ship and the direction of where you saw Jet and them walking to.
Okay, she's going to navigate back towards the ship. She's going to go grab the dead bird and then navigate back towards the ship.
Okay, you grab the dead bird and begin heading back towards the party. That brings us
possession.
over to Jet, Asander, Domino, and Snicked. You guys can hear something enormous approaching. And the reason you know that it is enormous in size is because you can hear the creaks and snaps and cracks of all of the foliage and vegetation and trees being pushed aside.
Domino, put me the fuck down.
You got it, sir.
Ow! And I stand up and I go over and I'm going to say, all right, we got to get prepared. Good idea, Doctor. You're trying to climb the tree. I go into the ground.
Well,
I am going to take. I'm going to take 3 grenades that I currently have, my only 3 shot grenades, and I'm going to put them on the ground, kind of in a pile, in an area, kind of in a clearing where I think that this thing might come. And I'm going to put them on the ground. My goal here is to shoot them, to explode them.
All right, let's see how successful you are in this. I'm gonna call for just a straight up intelligence check. Just give me an intelligence check and add your modifier.
How smart I am.
So Jet puts those down, and Domino, his head cocks to the side again, and he looks at him and goes, "Sir, do you need these?" And he pulls out both of Jet's pistols.
Oh shit! I go over and I'm like, "Yeah, I need those."
I've had them for a while.
Jet, you slap down those 3 grenades in a nice, neat little pile where you think this whatever thing might come out. You're pretty confident that it's going to be dead on. Domino, you realize that this is like very close to several trees and is going to provide a lot of cover for whatever comes out of the clearing. But Jet's pretty confident that they're in a really good place.
It'll be fine and explode. It's big. It's meh.
I believe him.
You guys have a few more moments as you realize this thing is approaching very close, and you can hear and see at this point 2 different trees snap down.
I'm also going to hide behind a tree.
Give me a check.
Domino is also going to move
Give me a
behind.
stealth check. Sander, are you trying to climb?
I am trying to climb, but I don't. Do you want me to make an acrobatics check? I don't think it's going to happen.
I think you have a climbing skill, don't you? No, you don't.
Acrobatics or athletics, but Fantasy Grounds is blank for me. I think it's because it's saying I can't.
Why couldn't you?
It depends on your armor.
I think that those are skills that they are totally blank for you. How about that?
Yeah, I got nothing in them.
Well, too bad,
what
because
kind of
Luna's
armor are you
character
wearing?
sheet looks good, guy. I'm just saying.
Hazmat, I said. So I try and climb. I can't get up. So I'm going to do the next best thing when confronted by potentially a predator, which I know probably this thing isn't. I just lie down on the ground and pretend I'm dead.
Snicked, what are you doing? Snick, please tell me what you're doing.
Scrappy's going to scare you up into the tree, into the trees.
Okay. Sander's just like, I want to hear so bad. All right, I'm dead. Just pretend I'm dead.
True inspiration. Can't do it. Pretend you're dead.
Oh my god. Okay. Yep, you're pretending you're dead. Domino, I forgot what you said you were doing.
He attempted to stealth badly, so he is standing behind a tree. And it's like the tree is like bent, and he's just standing up vertically. Like he's just standing normal, and the tree has completely evaded him. And he is doing a good job.
As this thing comes into view, you see a 20 to 25 foot tall, red, slender-like beast with a huge gaping maws and tiny eyes set atop its head. And it is literally just pushing and cracking over these trees, which is very interesting to you that it is walking this way, and it's kind of walking on these 4 legs, like its front legs as well, but it has the body styling from the top of something similar to a wyvern, where it has wings attached as well. And it's you kind of using those, and it's just pushing and crackling everything. Also, you can begin to see sort of little, and you can feel the hair on your arms, for those of you that have it, begin to rise and pull up as though it's being pulled by static. and he comes into view and sees a Sander, this brain in a jar, lying dead in the middle of this jungle floor, and you can kind of see it. And he gives out this huge roar all the way through again. A Sander, you begin to scream.
Yeah.
It's not so loud, though. It's just noise.
I was not expecting that. I'm not expecting.
He could probably mute himself, but he doesn't.
I didn't. I forgot that was a roll I made. He's forgot to turn his comms off, so he's just broadcasting the screen.
So Luna just hears yelling.
Luna, through your comms, you can hear a Sander, and you also hear the roar from this, and you hear the roar in person off in the distance. You've kind of made it back to the ship at this point.
Oh my God.
As I'm assuming that you just Terminator, just like...
Can she see it?
Through. Oh, no.
Okay.
They walked beyond. You guys went in different directions. It's going to take you a minute to get there.
Okay, she's going to continue sprinting towards that. She's going to take her gun out in one hand and keep running with this bird up in the air as a peace offering in the other.
Sander, you hear this as it begins to roar throughout the jungle. It slams back down after hearing you scream, and it looks like it's rearing back to bite you. Quickly, what do you want to do?
If you're giving everybody a thing, I'm going to shoot those grenades if it's anywhere near them.
You want to jump into combat?
Yeah. Yes.
And that is where we are going to end our session for the evening. So
we're all going to die again.
You guys think I killed its baby?
Oh my God.
asking for a friend.
Maybe its best friend.
Find out next week.
Established relationship.
Find out next week when Lauren kills someone's baby.
That's demonetized. Baby. That's so demonetized. That's way worse than saying fuck. All right. Thank you guys so much for joining us. We want to give some amazing love to our sponsors. Here to do that is going to be Jacob BUDZ with XP to level 3.
Oh, we are sponsored by Fantasy Grounds, grounds upon in which you put your fantasies. You can roll dice, you can have character sheets, and it's all very neatly organized so that you can do cool stuff with it. And there's going to be something brand new called Fantasy Grounds 2 coming out really soon. It's going to be using Unity, which I know, CODY, and it's really, really dope and awesome. I use it with some of my games, and I really enjoy it. So go pick it up. It's on Steam. It's only $15, I think. And yeah, I don't remember. There's also, you can get the demo for free. That's pretty cool. There's also Dungeon Painter Studio, patented by myself. All right, I was the one that came up with this saying. Everybody keeps stealing it, and frankly, it should be on a part of their slogan. Go paint dungeons in a studio. All of the maps that we use on this game and all of the ones from Carl Stones are all made on there, and it's really, really easy to use, a lot of fun. And apparently it's on mobile now. I heard guys say that earlier. That's pretty dope. So go pick that up on Steam. That's actually $15. I know that one. So really cheap, lots of resources for you to use. Make sure to check out our Patreon, where we've got the After Dark show, along with we're doing Mike said we're doing like a drive where if we get up to $800, we're going to have a bunch of polls for everybody, and you get to choose what we're going to do at Gen Con. Yes,
at Gen Con. Yes. All right. So
what a great segue.
Let me pitch Gen Con. All of your favorite YouTubers and creators are going to be in one room playing a game and then taking questions in a Q&A form afterwards and then getting to meet everybody. This is like...
we'll be there too, guys.
Well, you are YouTubers. You guys are on YouTube.
No, you said all your favorites, and I said, and we'll be there too. In a different room at the same time.
As far as I know... creators wise, this is the first and only time I've ever done anything like that, and I would love to come meet everybody. And if you guys are pre-ordered your Legendary Dragons book from Jetpack 7, which is available for pre-order, they're not a sponsor, but I'm a contributing writer on that. I will sign it for you. It's a good chance to get us to sign T-shirts for you. If you guys want whatever Mike has not put out signed, he'll do that. You can touch Jacob's hair
I only sign dudes.
Bring beans.
You
Is
can
that
throw
something
beans at
we're going to
Lauren.
let people do?
Honestly, I would love to just have beans scattered all over the floor when we leave the room for the next event.
Or
And
bread.
just tell Gen Con, like, we have no idea what happened.
Just
That's
canned
super
of
weird.
baked beans.
I have bread and horns. I'm ready for this, guys. This isn't a joke anymore.
It's seriously going to be like a really awesome, cool experience, and
Yeah.
we're all going to be there in person. You can get a photo taken with us and all kinds of cool stuff. So we're really looking forward to that. Go sign up for that. That's at Gen Con. So yeah, go sign up for that if you guys are watching later or whatever. That's it. We're off to record the next After Dark show to find out what happens at the Jade Colossus from after Jaxus has sent us off. So
It's going to be ridiculous.
we will see you guys Wednesday. We love your faces. Take care.